Heyo everybody, Haku here, and I guess this is a Walking Dead discussion. This one's going to be about what I think is going to happen with Fear the Walking Dead Season 2B when we get back from this mid-season break. And the reason I've decided on this topic is kind of like, with the main series, I guess with The Walking Dead in general, there's like a huge content drought right now. Like, it would be very, very hard for me to think of very many ideas of what to talk about with The Walking Dead right now. And from all the other Walking Dead channels I follow, they have maybe a video a week, if that. So it is it's a content drought right now, and I think a big reason for that, I hate to harp on it again, but is with that cliffhanger, like what I said. If we had gotten a complete scene and saw who died, then we could have, like, I could be set on videos talking about how this character is going to react to it, what this character is going to do, all this different stuff, talk about the loss of that character. But with an incomplete scene, the only thing that the show leaves, they were supposedly trying to get people to talk, but the only thing they leave fans to talk about is who dies. And that got old really quick. Like, even after like maybe a week or even a few days after the finale happened, everybody vented their anger or did their best to justify it, and then after that, nobody wants to talk about it anymore. Like, it's so oversaturated that no YouTuber really feels like talking about who they think is going to die anymore. And nobody out there wants to listen to it very much anyway. So, since that's the only thing the main series is giving us right now, since there's no news on Season 7, I'm going to stick with talking about Fear right now, because I think Fear is a way more interesting topic right now, especially with, like, all the shit that just went down with it. So, it's kind of hard to organize this video in a proper way, but, like, from the trailer that we see for the next episode when we get back from the mid-season break, it looks like it focuses almost completely on Nick. Both of the trailers that we've seen, I think, just focus on Nick. So I think that our story, like how we started with Nick, I think when we come back, instead of following Madison's group, we're going to be following Nick. And I think that a couple of what's her name? Celia. A couple of Celia's people are still going to be alive or whatever. Nick's going to hole up with them for a while. It seems like he goes someplace, but that lady warns him, there are bad people there. Shit will, like, cartel-style, militarized criminal people, and they will fuck your day up, son. So, it looks like they tell that to Nick, and I think the whole purpose of this is going to be a big character learning point, sort of a learning story, lesson that Nick needs to learn. And that's going to be like, right now he's sort of been, I'm not gonna say brainwashed, but indoctrinated maybe with this whole this is the next stage of life stuff and all of that. So it seems to me like he needs to learn his lesson, get away from all that. And the way that I think he's going to do it is that he's going to go and run into trouble with this new group, and he's going to have a very hard time of it seems, even just from the trailers. So when Nick has this hard time, he's going to have to, like, come to grips with, and maybe even with walkers too, he'll have a problem. And he's going to have to come to grips with, okay, they're dead. They're just corpses stumbling around. And as he goes about learning this lesson through all of his experience, maybe in an episode or two, I don't see it dragging on too long with this group. Throughout his experience with them, he's going to go back to sort of the old Nick, but a more stable version of the old Nick from earlier this season. So I think we're going to see a Nick that he knows what he's doing, he's not afraid, but he understands that they're just corpses stumbling around. And I think that's going to be really cool, because it's going to make him into more of a hardened survivor. Of course, that's just what I personally think is going to happen. And for the conclusion with this group, I either think two things could happen. I think that Madison's group could come in and save him in his time of need and sort of help show him the light. That, or he could deal with them himself. I don't know how. Whether he kills them, whether he runs away and escapes, whether he tricks them into falling off a cliff into a herd of walkers. I don't know. But I think he's going to have some sort of conclusion against them if he's not saved. And then once he has his conclusion with them, we don't know where he's going to go from there now that he's changed himself around and knows what's right, so to speak. And now that he has become a better Nick, like, we're left not knowing where he's going to go. Like, is he going to go find Madison? What's he going to do? And I think we'll just instantly just switch from there to going to Madison's group, and we might follow them for an episode or two. And for the episode or two we follow them, I think that we're going to find out that Connor's group has found them. He has tracked them down, and Connor's group, or that was his name, right? Connor? With Jack and all that. So Jack's group, I'll call it Jack's group. He will find them, and they will be in a little bit of shit there. And I think Nick will be the one to come in and save them. Like, if they don't come in and save Nick earlier on in this half season, Nick will be the one to save them from Jack's group. And that's how they'll know, okay, Nick is back. He's figured everything out. He's gotten over his walkers are still alive phase. And he's back with the family. Now, I think that all of that will probably take up most, maybe even all of the half season. That might take up the whole half season and we end with everybody getting reunited, or it could take up most of it and the last few episodes are just building up to our next big thing that we find, group we run into, thing like that. So there's a possibility that this entire back half could be about them rejoining, which I'd be totally cool with. I loved the back half of the original series of season 4. So I would completely love seeing a just them traveling separately and rejoining sort of arc with the story. I'd be totally fine with that. And I don't know what kind of role that the yacht, the Abigail, will play, because I feel like we'll get back to it. I feel like we'll see it again. I feel like it's too important to not see again. But I also feel like I don't know where it fits in the current story. I think that we're at least going to spend a couple episodes away from it and on land, but we might get back to it towards the end of the season, or maybe at the very end of the season we find it or something. I'm not sure how that works. Maybe even Jack's crew will take it over or destroy it or something. I have no clue, because it seems too important to forget about without revisiting again to at least get closure on. But at the same time, I think that the story fits better with them traveling on land here. And with that said, I think it's going to be more of an episodic story. Like, it's going to be sectioned off where this happens in an episode, then a little bit of time, maybe even this happens in an episode, this happens in an episode. And they're all separate with only a few plot points connecting them. They don't really cliffhang into the next episode any, which is very much how the first half of this season was. So I think it's going to be a lot like the first half of the season, and not as much like season 1 of Fear or any of the normal Walking Dead. I think that it's going to be a lot like the first half of the season, keeping the episodic pace, which they haven't been doing badly. I haven't minded it. So I think if they do that, except now on land where they're going to have more walkers, more groups, more stuff to explore. So I think that they're going to be like that, except on land, except instead of on sea. And I think that that could actually be a really cool setting and a really cool thing to do with the show. And so that's my discussion for this week. I really do look forward to seeing what all of you had to say about it, because I think that Fear has a lot of interesting stuff going on to talk about. And I really liked that finale, and I'm really excited to see where all the different characters go from here. I didn't talk in this discussion about Travis and Chris because I'm not sure quite where they fit into this. I might do a separate discussion on them in one of the coming weeks, but I'm not sure. I'll have to think more about what I think they're going to do. But as for right now, for them or for Daniel, I have no... because I'm assuming Daniel's going to be alive somehow. We didn't see him die, so I don't quite believe he is dead. So I don't know what's going to happen with Daniel, and I don't know what's going to happen with Travis or Chris, so I may make another discussion on them, but this is what I thought is likely to be our story progression for Nick and the group with, Strand, Alicia, Ophelia, and Madison? Yeah, Madison. So, yeah, that's it. So I guess, like if you did like this video, and comment down there and tell me what you thought of my thoughts on this subject, and tell me your thoughts too, because I'm really interested to see where all of you think that, where all of you think that the story's going to go from here for the second half of the season. Subscribe, of course, for more Fear the Walking Dead, Tower of God, Normal The Walking Dead, Pokemon Keys Niver, One Piece, a ton of stuff. Just subscribe, check out the channel if you're interested in any of that. And follow on Twitter if you want updates when I'm posting things or pushing things back. Thank you so much once again for watching this video. And yeah, I'll see you all next time.